Hello everybody, it's Maximus, and I thought I'd bring you guys some Terra Luna info, not because I'm hopping on the bandwagon of it or anything like that. It's because I saw some info listed here that really raised my eyebrows, to say the least. Because my attitude was, wow, could some of this be possible? And if so, is any of this potentially realistic? So before we get into it, I also want to preface by stating that this particular site here, Analytics Insight, I've actually used them in the past. This is not me just pulling some random website out of my hat and doing a video for it. Not like that at all. Just to give you guys some background, last year in 2021 with Shiba Inu, for instance, this site had price predictions for them coming up to that all-time high in October, I believe it was, of 2021. And it was realistic price predictions in which the whole rest of the world, like naysayers and so on, got it wrong. I will state that this site got it right. Now, I also state that this site doesn't always get it right, but on the ones that I was into, I saw at least anywhere, and I know this sounds like a crazy statement, but anywhere from 7 to 8 times out of 10, they had it right. Again, they're not fortune tellers, and I'm not one either. But at the end of the day, when I saw the things that are going to be outlined in this video, it definitely raised concern and awareness. And where I'm going with this is it should do the same thing for you. And again, I'm not going to state, I'm not going to tell you what to do or anything like that. You got to make your own personal decisions. Again, do your own research and so on. I think at this point, obviously Terra Luna is not an investment; it's more of a gamble. So I will state that I am not I'm not a professional gambler, and this is not gambling advice. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, for instance, it states right here that based on their long-term Terra price prediction, they're stating that Terra is likely to reach $1 by the end of 2022. Now, guess what? I'm with you guys. I hate seeing the videos from influencers where they're like, right in the title, oh, this is going to 1000x, or, this is going to be a, Terra Luna $1, and then it's just clickbait and all that. I get it. And when I see this myself, I'm with you. I see this and I say, reach $1 by the end of 2022. It is still 2022. This is nuts. This is crazy. This is loco, right? And then it goes on to mention $3 by 2023. Possibly $5 by 2025. Terra is also expected to reach at least $10 by 2030. Realistically speaking, 2030 is not on most people's outlook. It may be on the outlook of investors of Cardano, right? By then, like I'm invested in Cardano, and I realistically see it, doing great things. Like by then, hopefully, right? I mean, so let's face it. The years that are on our radar, or at least anywhere from 2022, the end of 2022, to probably 2025. I would say the majority of people are looking at this from that perspective. Now, it goes on to mention, it says the big question now is, are these Terra Luna price predictions realistic? Now, if I've already lost a lot of you, and you already went to the, pause this video, or, went to do whatever you're doing, or just turn this video off, I just want to state, as we get further into it, you'll see why this isn't so crazy, and that how there is actual realistic possibilities that this could happen. And that is, of course, why I'm doing this video, and why I feel as though we should not turn a blind eye to this particular project. So if you're still with me, let's go further into it. And it says, to help you have a clear idea of where Luna could go into the future, we have compiled top Terra predictions for 2022, 2025, and of course 2030. Terra price predictions. Despite all the issues that Terra Luna has been facing recently, there's a lot of optimism that Luna has what it takes to perform well going to the future. Based on their Luna price predictions, we expect it to hit the following prices within the year. Now, granted, you may be wondering, when was this taken? When was this published? There's a lot of crazy things going on. Do Kwon being threatened with prosecution from the South Korean government. All this thing of, him having a proposal and not listen to 90% of the community. The whole concept of, the fork, the current Luna becoming what? Luna Classic, and there's going to be a new Luna. I get all that. So just to show you real quick, if you didn't see the date, this was actually on May 19th. I actually meant to bring you guys this video at that time. I was having internet problems, and basically my cable modem died and so on. I wasn't able to produce anything until I got that sorted out. But I have that all sorted out, and that's of course why I'm doing this right now. So for instance, it says right here, you know, Luna price prediction end of 2022, with the Luna Foundation Guard working hard to restore confidence, keyword confidence, or I should state restoring of confidence in the Terra ecosystem. Luna has the potential to hit $1 in 2022. So with that said, again, you may be thinking, how are they going to restore confidence when they lost everyone's confidence? My answer to that would be this. For the same reason that you shouldn't listen to all the naysayers, well, especially last year when it came to Shiba Inu, who said that project had no utility. And we saw crazy all-time highs. For me, it was life-changing. Being able to turn 8K of my crypto asset into over 88K was huge. Hence why I'm doing videos, hence why I'm passionate about crypto and so on. At the end of the day, don't listen to all the naysayers. Have an open mind, to say the very least. Now, with that said, it goes on to more about this whole price prediction. It says by 2025 we expect Luna to have fully recovered. I know, it sounds nuts, right? And I'm with you. It says from the mess it has found itself in 2022, which is currently. By that time, Luna could be trading at $5 or more. Now again, you have to realize that at the end of the day, based off of history, right? A lot of times people don't want to look at history when it comes to anything. When it comes to wars, when it comes to, you know, investments, etc., etc. Perfect example, I know this is an apples and oranges comparison. Look at Brian Williams of NBC News, right? There was all that controversy with him, with what he said, what he reported on a certain thing, and it being fake, and it was proven of what he did, and as a result, you know, he resigned, stepped down, but he was only gone for like a couple years. Then he came back, then basically had a super popular news show, right? And yeah, recently he retired, but you know, he was able to bounce back from that. And maybe, you know, let's just be fair about it. He wasn't able to bounce back and be prime time Brian Williams, right? And be like in the top 5 of all newscasters and so on. But the point was, he was able to bounce back. He was able to get a lot of viewers. He was able to, on the Nielsen, you know, report and so on. On the Nielsen ratings, I should say, it did show what? That he was still bringing in a big base of people. Want to know why that is? Well, there is a certain percentage of people who looked at him and said, I will never watch news about him ever again. He's got a tarnished name. Then there's also a crowd of people who are what? New viewers who don't know the history behind it all, and they just want to turn on the news, and that happens to be the news in front of them. The point I'm trying to make is this. Historically speaking, when it comes to crypto, when it comes to things as crazy as the apples and oranges comparison of Brian Williams, people just don't know their history. They don't look into all the backstories. Yeah, he has a tarnished name. But at the end of the day, his tarnished name isn't worthless. Terra Luna's tarnished name isn't completely worthless. All these naysayers saying that this is worth 0 are simply wrong. It is not worth 0. I will always pound this home. 0.0 is 0, not 0.5 zeros and a 1. Alright, so moving further. Alright, so it goes further and says, you know, what is Terra Luna? I'm not going to read all this because at the end of the day, we already know what Terra Luna is. Moving further, it says Terra Luna technical analysis based on recent price movements. Okay, this area is crucial. So for instance, it says, like all cryptocurrencies, Luna is highly volatile. Let's face it, it's not highly volatile, it's extremely volatile, to say the very least. It is common for cryptocurrencies to drop to record lows before shooting back up and making new highs. Perfect example would be what? Bitcoin in its early days. I've heard things in which Bitcoin had, a crash of something like 90%. I think it was back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, and then it rebounded like crazy from it. Again, Bitcoin is not a tarnished name. I get it. Terra Luna is. Again, stay with me in regards to this. It's all going to make sense here in a bit. So it goes on to mention, it says, it is common for cryptocurrencies, again, to drop to record lows, like I mentioned, before shooting back up and making new highs. For instance, Luna was trading at pennies in 2020, but by late 2021, it had made highs of over 100. And we know that based on just looking at charts and things like that. So for instance, look at this. Just like I said, 2020, trading for literally pennies, like under 20 cents, right? And then, in the year 2020, by the end of 2021, it's well over 100. And of course, we saw it go up to about $114, right? A lot of people, of course, did well, but for the people, of course, who didn't take profits off the top and, they wanted to hodl, it's, extremely sad to see what happened in regards to all that. All right, moving further, the recent crisis has then seen its reverse course, and in under 3 days, as we know, Luna dropped to lows of 4 zeros and a 1. However, after the dust settled, Luna made a comeback of 900%. It's a volatile period, but this price action is an indicator that Luna could bounce back. Now, let me just pause and reflect on that just for a bit. So, during that week of the whole entire huge crash, for a person who used, for instance, like KuCoin bot, there was times in which it dropped even further than that 0.4 zeros and a 1. Believe it or not, I think it was maybe for like an hour, maybe less. For those people who set their bot to do a buy order, like on KuCoin, for instance, they actually saw it drop down as much as 0.6 zeros and a 6. So if a person put in, for instance, $6,000, right, and then set their sell order to sell at like 0.2 zeros in a number, they saw significant gains. How significant? Literally, think about this: the person that bought for 0.6 zeros and a 6 puts in $6,000, right, and then sells at 2 zeros. I mean, that person basically made like a couple $1 million. It's just insane. So that's just something to think about. So it mentions, dust settled, Luna made a comeback 900%. We already know about some of this stuff. So going on further, analysts show their price predictions. Now this part is a little bit mixed, and I like this because it's not showing just a bias in the positive, like hey, gung-ho for Terra Luna. No, it's a little bit mixed here. So it says, overall, analysts seem to agree that Luna has what it takes to make a comeback despite the recent price drop. Most analysts using technical analysis believe that Luna could bounce back to $1 in 2022. Again, I know that sounds crazy, right? We're all rooting for that, whether you're invested into it or not. It says, long-term Luna price prediction also point to the potential to reach $10 per Luna by 2030. Granted, if everything gets executed from what we saw recently, obviously that Luna token would be technically what? Luna Classic. Alright, so from the coin price forecast, if you ever use them, it says, coin price forecast, Luna is expected to close at 3051 at the end of 2022. Which is an increase of 176%. And again, this is nothing significant, but then again, it's showing how it's mixed. Walt Investor, I'm sure maybe some of you guys heard of them. I know I have. Walt Investor has one of the most bullish Luna price forecasts at the moment, which to me, this is just loco. We want to talk about, there's being bullish, and then there's just being out of your mind. Okay, I don't see this being true, but I want to show you guys how this is mixed. Again, $72 by the end of 2022. Let's face it, that just doesn't sound realistic. Trading Beast, they have a different number. CoinSkid, What's significant about them? They expect Luna to trade at a maximum price of 0.2003, which is an increase of 8% from its current price by the end of the year. Long term, they expect Luna to be trading a maximum of like not even much, right? Like pretty much near worthless. And then I see Creed. I won't read this whole thing, but basically it's the same thing. And then of course there's government capital has one of the most bullish Luna price predictions, even more insane compared to trading. I'm sorry, not Trading Beast, but Walt Investor. And then of course there's Coinpedia. I know a few people actually use Coinpedia, and it says it's one of the analysts with a strongly bullish Luna price prediction for 2022 and 2030. Coinpedia expects Luna to hit a high of 142 in 2022. I mean, it's just, to me, it's too insane on some of this. And you may be wondering, well, why even talk about it if it just seems nuts? Again, stay with me. We'll get there. So, this is Terra Luna price predictions between 2022 and 2030 after the recent debacle that saw Terra's stablecoin collapse and the price of Luna drop by 99%. Luna's short-term price prediction is blink. Nonetheless, investors showing resilience, and the price has rebounded by close to 1,000% from its recent lows. For this reason, our Luna price prediction for 2022 is $1. We expect Luna to rise to $10 by 2030 if investor confidence in the Terra blockchain returns to its previous crash levels. To come up with this Luna price prediction, this is key, everybody. We are not just using Luna's past price action, we are also looking at key factors likely to influence Luna going into the future, especially after the recent price collapse that wiped 99% off the value of Luna tokens. With Luna now at prices that no one would have imagined it could drop to ever again, it is only natural to wonder, should I invest in Luna today? All right, everybody's asking that. It's not, and in reality, it's not even an investment. It's more like I said, it's an absolute gamble at this point. To help you make an informed choice, here are some of the factors that can influence the value of Luna going into the future. So hopefully you're still with me. Again, this is going to get good, and if anything, you'll walk away from it with a new perspective. Not necessarily saying that you're going to buy anything, but at least a new perspective. So it goes on to mention, it says, the first thing to consider is how the Luna Foundation Guard will react to the total collapse of the Terra ecosystem. Keyword ecosystem. After UST lost its peg, the LFG went into a Luna minting spree, pushing the supply into billions of tokens. Now that the dust has settled, the first thing to consider is whether they will choose to burn all the extra tokens that enter the circulation in under 24 hours. Luna could quickly bounce back to its pre-crash levels if they take this route. Luna Foundation's guard, the Luna Foundation's guard's other option is to fork the chain, as we know, and come up with an entirely new network. This too is an option that could push the price of Luna, especially if they reset it with a low token supply. Again, this factor could easily see Luna jump back to its pre-crash levels. Luna also has to contend with the issue of investor trust in the network. While Terra is a layer 1 blockchain used for a lot more than just issuing stablecoins, algorithmic stablecoins have been its biggest value driver. As such, whether UST regains its peg or not will have a bearing on long-term value of Luna. If UST never recovers, the thing to watch will be investor and developer confidence in Terra as a blockchain of choice for decentralized applications. If faith in the network returns, then all bullish Luna price predictions have a valid basis. Again, I think this is an overreach, and I don't see personally this thing ever getting fully a full 100% investor reconfidence. If anything, it might be possibly half. Again, we'll get more into this. It says, then there also is the aspect of Bitcoin and its sway on the entire market. Bitcoin is the #1 price mover for cryptocurrencies, as we know. And when it goes up, all the cryptocurrencies go up with it. Well, in reality, everybody, it's not just Bitcoin. It's also Ethereum. And that's why, you see even top influencers, they'll state, if those two do well, what affects the altcoins that they do well as well. You also have to keep in mind that, and you can look this up for yourself, this is just not me saying this because I'm hopping on the bandwagon of big influencers or anything like that, but it is true. Bitcoin and Ethereum make up 81% of the overall crypto global market cap. So you always want to root for those two to do well because it does affect the altcoins. By extension, it is expected to keep uplifting the price of Luna going into the future. When considering all the above factors, Luna has good prospects as a good cryptocurrency investment, both short-term 2022 and long-term 2030 and beyond. With these fundamentals in mind, below are Terra Luna price predictions for 2022 to 2030. Now, if there's anybody left who's even watching this, who's not like just, dude, you're completely out of your mind, again, bear with me. I'm still going to try to pound this home in regards to all this. Alright, so Terra price prediction 2022. Stabilization of the network and a clear roadmap for rebuilding will push Luna higher by the end of 2022. Again, we are just now entering into summer. There's still time to make some progress. I'm not saying to fully restore buyer confidence, but to do something. Again, this is not a completely worthless coin like most of the naysayers are stating. Again, 0.0 is 0, not 0.5 zeros and a 1 is my point. So it says post-crash, investor confidence seems to be returning and Luna price prediction could rise over 900%. Once there's more clarity on the future, Luna prediction could test the $1 market in 2022. 2023. By 2023, I know this is just nuts. Listen to this. By 2023, there should be a clear direction for the future of Luna. If UST regains its peg, and there is a massive token burn of Luna tokens, the Terra price prediction could quickly push to $3 or more. However, even if UST fails and confidence in Terra as a layer 1 network grows, it could still reflect the price, and $2 to $3 could be within reach for Luna. I know this just sounds crazy, but there's certain factors that can happen by that time. For one, UST is pegged, of course, the US dollar. For all we know, maybe things as far as the US economy, heck, even the world economy getting better. And with that said, if inflation can be we can get a grasp on inflation, that will dramatically help. If the overall crypto market is turned green, we get things, a green light, flip that switch and get crypto greenlit again, and not, get the bulls back out instead of the bears. All these factors could definitely help Terra Luna. Again, you got to look at it from a different perspective. Alright, so Terra Luna price prediction 2024. By 2024, listen to this. And I know this is a long video, but I don't know any other way to explain it but to break it down like this and actually read a lot of this verbatim. I'm with you. I look at YouTube videos as well, but at the same time, I just feel as though we really need to take a look into this, because why not? If you're really going to be gambling on something, then you want to potentially know a little bit more about what you're gambling on, right? So Terra Luna price prediction 2024. By 2024, Terra's current issue should be behind it. That's a stretch. However, it says if Luna starts 2024 at $3, I know. Sorry. And its decentralized apps ecosystems continue to grow. That is crucial. Then $5 or more would be within reach within the year. However, it's not just Terra's internal fundamentals that are likely to impact the price of Luna in 2024. Positively speaking, the next Bitcoin halving is scheduled for 2024. We know this because of the cycles that Bitcoin goes through every 3.5 years and so on. I've recently learned this just by watching interviews of Richard Hart from the Hex Project. Sorry, not project, product, that's what they call it. That's beside the point, but nonetheless, he has hit the nail on the head every single time when it came to his price predictions of what was going to happen with Bitcoin. It goes on to mention this event has in the past driven up the price of Bitcoin and the entire market. For instance, the 2020/2021 cryptocurrency bull run started after the Bitcoin halving in April 2020. Yeah, absolutely. That is true. You can look it up for yourself. Therefore, if you're still stuck with the question, quote, should I invest in Terra Luna today? All indicators so far are in the affirmative for 2022 and 2024. The odds favor Luna trading between $1 and $5 in the next 3 years. If you don't care much for short-term price fluctuations and have a long-term view of Luna, below are the in-depth Terra price predictions for 2025 to 2030. And that's why for me personally, I am leaning more towards I'm not going to do the swing trading, maybe possibly kind of on the fence, but for me, I'm going to show you guys my play as far as what I'm going to do for Terra Luna. Again, it's going to be at the end of the video, but we'll get there. Again, it mentions 2025. I mean, I know this video is getting a little bit longer, so I'm just actually going to jump ahead. I mean, obviously it says 5 and 7 right there, 2026 and so on. You know, just crazy price forecast. 2029, 2030. I mean, some people don't even want to look at 2030. It's just too far away. But again, check this out. Potential highs and lows for Terra Luna. Clearly, even with all the issues that the Terra blockchain is facing, it has a bright future ahead of it. Yeah, that sounds crazy, right? Luna's biggest threat today is the potential lack of confidence. Obviously, there is not much confidence, right, in the network after the recent network collapse. There is also no telling how regulators may react to algorithmic stablecoins after the recent failure of UST made headlines globally. It is important to only invest in Luna what you can afford to lose. Absolutely. At this point, it's not even an investment, it's a gamble. To make things more straightforward for you on whether to buy Luna today, there is a tabular breakdown of the possible highs and lows that Terra Luna could achieve between 2022 and 2030, as predicted by industry analysts. 2022 high of $1, low of what? Looks like 50 cents. Yeah. 2023 high of 3, low of 2. 2024, I mean, this again, I get it. This just seems nuts. High of $5 and low of 3. Maybe thinking, well, Analysts Insight is just full of crap, and I totally get where you're coming from. I'm not gonna read all that, but I will read this part also. This is crucial. Pay attention to this part. So why does Terra have value? Terra's core use case is a platform for launching algorithmic stablecoins. The idea behind these stablecoins is to decentralize fiat currencies while still maintaining their price predictability for everyday transactions. Terra is also used for the launch of any form of decentralized apps. Some of the advantages that come with the Terra blockchain are as below. It's basically an easy mechanism for creating algorithmic stablecoins, which we know a lot of us are like, to hell with that. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm gonna stick with the traditional stablecoins. Hey, I get it. I get where you're coming from. A high throughput of up to 1,000 TPS. If you don't know what TPS is, it means transactions per second. Okay, so that is significantly fast. It doesn't mean it's the fastest one. I believe Ripple is. I think it's like 1,500, and with a finalization of, I believe 4 seconds. Finalization basically means where the transaction, just like it sounds, it's been finalized. Like Zilliqa, I think it's 2,000. It might even be faster than Ripple. I know Avalanche and Solana are like way super faster. I mean, their TPS is like, I think over 10,000, maybe 20,000. It's just insane how fast those are. And of course, it mentions interoperability, including with the world-leading Ethereum blockchain. Who created the Terra blockchain? I don't even want to focus on it right now. You know, we know about Duke Kwon, we know about Daniel Shin. The working mechanism of Terra Luna network, as we know, it runs on the Tendermint proof-of-stake algorithm. Again, I don't want to put a lot of focus on this, but what's key is it says these metrics have made Terra one of the most sought-after blockchains for DeFi and other applications. Not even focusing on what, like algorithmic stablecoins. It says in these core metrics that have seen the number of bridges between Terra and other blockchains such as Ethereum, Binance, Cosmos, and Harmony, which, you know, drives up further adoption. It has a lot of adoption. Like, a lot of people went for it. A lot of, you know, they have a huge ecosystem and so on. Again, I realize they're going to lose a lot of their ecosystem. But again, I'm going to get more into this before we wrap it up. It says Luna gaining adoption. It says despite the issues, listen to this, that Luna faces, it is still one of the most adopted blockchains in the market today. It currently has more than 600,000 active wallets, and the numbers are rising despite everything that's going on. Once the dust settles and people have clarity on the future of Luna, adoption will grow. Again, these are key things that you need to take away from anything of this video that I basically made. And that is, once the dust settles and people have clarity on the future of Luna, adoption will grow. Now, I get it, guys. There is a few factors that need to happen. Maybe one of the factors is, like the latest news about the whole thing with Do Kwon and some of the charges that he faces and so on. For all we know, maybe he either will have to resign, or you never know these things, and then a new person comes on board, etc., etc. But again, like the expression says, that when the dust settles and people have clarity of the future, adoption will grow. That doesn't mean that it's dead. And then with that also said, if it's not a completely dead project, right, despite like what the naysayers are saying, there is potential opportunities here that we should not turn a blind eye to. As we have been doing with other projects following whale activity and so on and so forth, if we see any whale activity in regards to this project, I think we need to pay close attention to those type of things. The Terra price prediction conclusion says, despite the short-term risk, there are many reasons to be excited about the future of Luna. Terra is a DeFi heavy network, and DeFi is gaining in adoption across the world. As such, highly scalable launch platforms like Terra will increase in adoption going into the future, despite the tarnished name. I know it doesn't say that, but that's how I feel about it. If you were unsure whether to invest in Luna, more like gamble, following the events of May of 2022, we hope this article has been helpful. Again, I'm not part of Analysts Insight or anything like that. I just thought, again, it was something that caught my eye, and I thought, wow, I have a different outlook based on this. And also because they were pretty much spot on about Shiba Inu. Alright, it says, remember, there are no guarantees in the financial markets, especially in cryptocurrencies. You should always aim to invest what you can afford to lose. Yes, absolutely. In this case, it's a gamble. Risk aside, Luna is a cryptocurrency that has the potential to give investors thousands of percentage in gains by 2030. Probably the most impressive risk to reward ratio out there, to say the very least. Based on their Luna price predictions, the prospects are better long term. Yes, that's why I'm not putting so much focus on doing swing trading. It says that's because clarity on the direction Luna could take will only come as the years go by. Besides adoption and broader market momentum will help push Luna higher with time. What will happen to the price of Luna in 2022? Again, they mentioned that the price in 2022 will depend a lot on whether the network does, on what the network does to get out of the mess that followed the UST depegging. So far, the team has made progress, and the price of Luna has rebounded by 900% from its most recent lows. Again, 0.0 is 0. 0.0 is a dead project. Squid Game is dead. That's a rug pull. Suzuki Inu is dead. That's a rug pull. You're not going to get anything out of that. Those are freaking dead projects. This, even though it's gone down 99%, 99.9% is not 100%. There's still some opportunity. Alright. It says, as confidence in the network grows, Luna could test $1 based on latest Luna price prediction. What will happen to the price of Terra Luna in 2025? 2025 will be a year after the Bitcoin halving in 2024, like what was mentioned before. This means a broader market could be bullish, and Luna could also benefit based on their price prediction. Luna could trade it as much as $5. Will Terra reach 10? Well, probably by 2030, according to them, not according to me. I don't know, personally. Another thing, is Luna a good cryptocurrency investment? More like a good cryptocurrency gamble at this point. So again, they kind of reiterate before the crash, May 10th, 2022, Luna was one of the best cryptocurrencies since 2020. We know that in the past. However, even after the 99.99% crash, Luna made a bounce back and is up by 900% from its crash day lows. it shows that Luna is still one of the best cryptocurrency investments in the market today, even based on everything that's happened. You may be wondering, well, like, what are you smoking? What are you talking about? Well, currently speaking, of all the cryptocurrency projects out there, out of the 19,509, it still ranks 214. It still has a market cap that is $739 million. It's nothing to bat an eye at, people. This is not zero. Okay? It's not zero. It's not dead. Going on, it says, is it too late to buy Luna? Obviously not. Things, of course, could happen, right? The SEC getting involved, or, you know, Janet Yellen proposing more regulation and specifically going after Terra Luna. I get it. All those things are factors. It says it's a risky investment. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's a risky investment. It's a risky gamble. I'm not going to tell you guys, you know, is it a good buy if it's not, and whatnot, and where to trade this and where to get it. I mean, you could get on KuCoin, for instance. That's where I got mine. Alright, so guys, wrapping up, okay? This is the play that I'm doing. I am doing the play that I used last year in regards to Shiba Inu. And the play that I did was like this. So Shiba Inu was trading at the time, late May of 2021. It was trading at this right here, 0.50 and 799, and as a result, I bought over 1 billion tokens. I mean, I don't know, it was like, I can't give you the exact figure, but I just know it was over 1 billion. And so check this out. So with 9 zeros is 1 billion. Let's see, 369. So like I said, yeah, I put roughly 8K, right? With fees, it was about 8K, okay? And then so where significant is because, watch this. There's 1 billion again, and it was roughly like last October. It was near all-time highs, or, you know, basically all-time highs. Yep, and that's basically 11x that I did. That was the main one that stood out, and that was the one I did the best on, was Shiba Inu. Now the point I'm trying to make is this. I am using the same approach, believe it or not, on Terra Luna, and I get it. Shiba Inu doesn't have the tarnished name that Terra Luna has, but watch this. I am rooting for Terra Luna. I hate being bearish on anything. I always want to be bullish, but in reality, I'm keeping a close eye look, and I might even do the bot where it's just auto buys this. But I'll put it this way: if the market tanks more, I'm actually hoping that Terra Luna would tank more with it, and so I'm having a very close eye look out for if this adds 2 more zeros, and if it adds 2 more zeros, then I could get this at 5 zeros and a 1, and I'm basically going to put $1,000 into it, and the $1,000 will get me 1 billion of the coins. As you can see right there. So my approach is, I am not going to do what? I am not rooting for this to hit $1, because I don't have to. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. So all I have to do is, I mean, I don't even have to root for it to hit a penny. Watch this. Even at 3 zeros and a 1, that's going to be $100,000. Okay. And then, of course, there's this. And if it goes to 0.2 zeros and a 1, well, that's $1 million. And then obviously, if it was at a penny, right, that's $10 million. So that's what I'm trying to show you guys. At the end of the day, it's math. There's quite a few of you guys who are invested, like myself, in small market cap token projects, where there's Shiba Doge, where there's Shinobi, and so on. And those are you know, don't get me wrong, those are good projects. I'm personally invested into those. Again, not financial advice or anything, but why was the reason why you probably got into those, other than they have great communities and you believed them in it and so on? You didn't think it was a scam. You thought it was, you know, like the greatest thing to slice bread, right? You basically bought into it. You bought into it because at some point you saw, for instance, like for me, like Shiba Doge was at, you know, 0.15 zeros in a number. So for me, I was like, wow, at that number, I can buy like a quintillion of these things. And then if it starts like, you know, erasing like 3 or 4 zeros, then I'm basically like a millionaire, right? That's your outlook. My point is this: if you're able to see that vision and see that outlook, why wouldn't you at least take consideration on this particular outlook? So on my particular outlook with this, again, I'm not going to be like the majority of the people out there. In fact, I realize a lot of people were probably like, Maximus, for one, this video is way too long, which I agree it is. I do apologize for that. And number two, you guys might have the outlook like you're absolutely nuts and it's never going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get that. But at the end of the day, this risk to reward ratio to me is more appealing even than XRPs. And don't get me wrong, I'm probably still going to get an XRP. Again, not financial advice. But my point is this: instead of rooting for this to go to $1, all you got to do is root for it to even go to, you know, 0.3 zeros and a 1, based on the math that I just showed you on the calculator. So this is what I'm going to do. My goal is I'm going to want to try to accumulate 1 billion of these coins based on some of these prices. I might not get to it. It might, you know, like the best I did was on my second bag, I was at, you know, 0.4 zeros and a 2. You know what I mean? And so as right now, currently speaking, I'm at a little over 1.13 million. Of course, like everybody else, of course I'm rooting for this to go to $1 and so on, because that means I'm basically a millionaire just right off the Terra Lunar project. But for me personally, I am keeping a close look, like a hawk. If this thing goes down to, or not goes down, but, you know, adds 5 zeros, that's the play I'm going to do. I'm going to put $1,000 into it, get my 1 billion coins, and then as soon as this goes, if the light turns on for everything, well, you know where it's going. With that said, everybody, thanks for watching this very long video in regards to Terra Luna. I hope, if anything, it gave you a different outlook, because at the end of the day, even if Terra Luna loses half of its ecosystem, it's still going to have some sort of value. And again, another thing to just remind yourself based on this video, and that is, even if a few years go by, they still have a chance to gain buyer confidence back into it. There's going to be new investors. At the end of the day, those new investors aren't aware of everything. They can have a friend or a colleague or family member say, don't get into that, but there's still going to be a percentage of people who will still get into it. Also, as we know, based off the last recession, you know, there's a concept of what? Certain banks were too big to fail. What if Terra Luna is still too big to fail? For crying out loud, it used to be a top 5 coin. Again, I just don't want to see any of us, I mean, not just myself, but any of us, especially those who may have been burned by this by putting like $80 or $50 before that last crash and you lost your last savings. Still, maybe, possibly give it a chance. Again, not financial advice, but what I'm saying is just have an open mind. That's the way I'm going to play it, and that's what I'm going to do. So with that said, everybody, thanks for watching today's very long video on Terra Luna. I hope it gave you some new perspective. We're of course going to see what's going on with this Do Kwon, the whole project moving further. I am going to do another video in regards to swing trading and so on, and that one of course will just be focused on that particular aspect as far as KuCoin bots and all that stuff. Be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. Thanks again for watching today's episode or / video on Terra Luna. Like, comment, subscribe if you're not currently. Watch me daily on Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and also on the weekends, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I won't keep you guys any longer. Thanks again, everybody. May y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next one.